When we first started The Difference Baker, our mission statement was very clear, blessing lives one bite at a time, until I realized and really researched the increase in food sensitivities and food allergies and people who are anaphylaxis. We changed our mission statement to blessing and saving lives one bite at a time, because that's truly who we're here for.
Hey Glow Talks fam, welcome back to the studio. We have another yet amazing podcast for you today. I'm very excited to share my next guest, Alyssa Sobecki with The Difference Baker.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so excited that you're on. I mean, not that we were in social circles like so closely, but both of our kids and our families have been through Virginia Academy, the community church, and I really love I love everything about both of those, facilities. So
me too.
I'm so thankful yet again to have another beautiful person in my life as a result of community church.
Vice versa. I agree. We're blessed.
Yes. So let's begin with The Difference Baker. When I first heard that you were starting this company and, that it was going to be more focused on having food safe bakery items, I was really excited because there wasn't really any other facility around here who would be able to really be certified in preparing goodies for us that are nut-free, allergen-free.
Yeah.
So share with us, how did you come up with this idea and get started?
I know. That's such a loaded question. It's really hard for me to answer it in such a way that it's simple, right? Because there's so many layers to it, because you take your whole entire mess of a life of being younger. For me, super sick, and then, being in my early 20s and it just kind of resurfacing, but at an insane level just because my stress levels were really high. So you had that immune response. And I went to an allergist, got diagnosed with a bunch of food allergies and autoimmune markers. Really didn't know what that meant. That kind of started the journey. And then when I got with my husband, and my sister-in-law had celiac, has celiac. But she was before that, I didn't even know what gluten was,
Right.
And we had a lot of the same issues.
Okay. Symptomatically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And at the same time, I had been going through kind of figuring out what was wrong with me. Had sourced a holistic doctor in Leesburg who saved my life.
Well, thank goodness.
Yes.
Because that also was not very popular.
At all.
Right?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, I went to an allergist and I said, okay, what do I do with this? And she was like, well, you have to go see a nutritionist. And she gave me a list of people. And one of the nutritionists was at his doctor's office. So then I just did a little bit more digging. And he's absolutely amazing. He still has his practice open in Leesburg. His name is Dr. Dave Stewart, and his wife practices as well. And they're just people that I will always keep in my life, to be honest, for that reason.
Yep.
But anyway,
Nava, that's Nava for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is.
And I mean, it's funny. I started there actually as a practitioner, and then little did I know, I took a bunch of these, functional testing and blood testing and the food sensitivity, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I suffered a lot, I had a similar story, lost my gallbladder, was septic, full on leaky gut, had no idea that it was the food that I was eating and what was living inside, right?
Well, most people don't know that still to this day when everything is at their fingertips. But, I wore a lot of hats in terms of professionally, and I was a business coach and consultant and was traveling a lot around the U.S.
Okay.
And I realized, oh my gosh, I could eat other places. They were certified gluten-free or just, no soy, whatever it is, right? Whatever the allergen they were specific in omitting. And I'd come back home and my husband and I would have to drive to DC or drive to Maryland to the only 2 dedicated places that were gluten-free. They weren't even certified. And our youngest is anaphylaxis to so many things.
Okay.
So even though we'd go to these gluten-free places, because he also has to be gluten-free, he's got such a severe peanut allergy, even if it could contain peanuts, there's absolutely no way. Zero way.
When did you find that out about him?
Oh, when he less than a year old.
Okay. So as a baby.
Right away, as a baby.
And I had friends also before I realized what was going on with me who had kids who had like severe allergies, just like you're describing. And I mean, what a place of fear.
It's crazy. It's still to this day.
Yeah.
And we were just in Mexico 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I literally freaked out because he put ice cream in his mouth and I saw the guy running over. I'm like, spit it out. I knew immediately. It's like, I also knew immediately when you're so in tune with your body.
Yeah.
Like I almost looked at it and was like, Ashton, don't eat that.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I regret that. And he ended up spitting it out, but he had an oral allergic reaction.
Yeah.
And stayed up till like almost 1 o'clock in the morning just to make sure he was safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that goes away. But yeah, I was traveling a lot, and I actually ended up quitting my job as a coach and consultant. And it was the first time in my life where my husband was, just killing it, had just started his company, and was just doing amazing, still is, but this was the beginning of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could be a stay-at-home mom. And I got it like really deep into my spirituality and was meditating. And all of a sudden God was like, you're going to open up a bakery. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then within probably 5 or 6 conversations with my in-laws and my parents, and of course my husband is my biggest fan, we came up with the idea in May, and we were literally open on November 7th.
Wow. Talk about like full manifestation.
Correct. Nothing got in the way. Everything was in the flow. Everyone we needed, everyone I needed appeared.
Wow. So let's talk about the process of that, like 6 months or less than 6 months. And how did you then decide to come from like, okay, we're going to just omit some of these allergens to, well, we're actually certified?
Yes. So that was a lot. And we were certified gluten-free in the beginning.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to at least be our allergen-free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was peanut, soy, and gluten.
Okay.
Then I realized and did a lot of market research during the time we were doing the marketing. And before we actually opened, I was just immersed in just research, like wanted to understand what this meant. There was only one certification company in the United States. And I'm pretty sure they still are the only one for the other specific allergens.
Okay. Got it.
The owner is just an angel. She's just amazing. And she's worked her butt off to keep it throughout what's happened in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Economically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of research, a lot of trial and error. I had a great recipe developer that really just set the stage for me now being able to come in when she, left and focused on her own business. How I could just pivot and do that because she gave us such a base.
Yeah.
And we just kept adding more allergens because of the need. And I was like, okay, well, if we can omit these and still get the same outcome, why would we have to keep them?
Right.
So
still make delicious food.
Correct. We've been wildly successful with that. But that's because of God. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's all a testament to faith and us just being a vessel.
Yep.
Right? Little did you know you would be hearing the sound of God in your mind of like, oh, you're going to open your own bakery.
I'm like, no, I'm not. I still don't bake. I want nothing to do with it. But I am in every other little aspect of the business, and I love it. It feeds me.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, how did you come about like finding all the right resources and people?
I prayed about it.
A miracle.
100%.
Yeah.
I prayed about it.
Wow.
And a lot of those people and a lot of those things were already in my life. So God had been working way prior.
Yep.
And he was working within me way prior. I mean, he brought me through the trenches in order to understand, okay, this is what you're set up for. This is what you're going to do to help other people.
I mean, it's funny. I have heard a lot of like my Holy Spirit telling me like, you have everything you need. You have everything you need. Like I am providing, I've already provided it. It will be provided for. Hands down, no questions asked. And I see it like along the way, although it's tough probably like in those times. How would you deal with uncertainty and just the not knowing or
It's, when it comes, well, there's been, to be honest with you, that's all I've had to deal with.
Okay.
We
I
opened
know.
up
Yeah.
literally 4 months before COVID shut us down for 6 months. So then came the price of our ingredients, right? And then came nobody wanted to work. And then came nobody wanted to, you couldn't physically distance in our 1,200 square foot bakery because you just couldn't.
Right.
So we had to pivot. And I really feel like I am still pivoting. I'm still trying to, but I'm more or less, I took the I am out of it. And I just pray about it and do what I need to do in order to be aligned with what he needs to do through me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I pray for my staff to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's so great.
Well,
I mean, you've been in business now
5.5 years.
5 years,
yeah.
Which I think I've heard from many other small business owners, like that 5-year mark. It's really hard to get there.
Yeah.
So really kudos to you and congratulations of being able to re-emerge after coronavirus.
Thank you.
What did that process look like?
Oh, gosh. Well, ironically, I really didn't know what business should look like prior to that. Because we had been open for such a short period of time.
Okay. So your expectations were like, I have no idea anyway.
Yes. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're closing down. So we went from literally having to close down to I bought just a bunch of freezers and took out the tables and then kind of created my own little Wegmans in the Difference Baker and have reach-in freezers for people to come shop. One person at a time.
What a great idea.
And then we also set up delivery. We delivered all over, which was such a blessing because that was cool. Because I was able to talk to everyone and, my 2 older ones had their license and they were able to help me. So that was awesome. But yeah, it really has just been pivot after pivot after pivot. I really don't think that we've come into stability since. Economically, especially with the price of our ingredients, where we're sourcing them, now with the tariffs. I mean, it truly has been one thing after another. Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to just zen, chill, which is probably why I focus on myself so much.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, it starts within ourselves.
Yeah.
I've had guests on previous podcasts where we talk about we're going to wake up in the morning sometimes feeling like an immense amount of pressure, anxiety, and so on. And it's up to us to build that foundation for ourselves of self-love, acceptance, the inner knowingness, and going back to our faith, which gives us maybe the, incentive, right, to go along our day and be like, okay, I can really tackle any challenge that might come along.
Definitely. Very important.
And you had the 2 older kids at the time helping. You had other family helping?
I did. Yeah. So my dad, he was with us and actually it was awesome. So he came I guess, when COVID hit. He was in the car sales business. And then I was like, Dad, you got to just come down here and I don't want you up there by yourself in New Jersey. Come down here. My mom is remarried. He was not. So long story short, he came down. He lived with us until August, went back home, and then sold his house in December, and then moved down with us.
Okay, wow.
And then a year, he worked with us. He worked in the bakery, did deliveries for me. It was awesome. It was actually the first time I ever lived with my father, too.
Okay.
So I'd never lived with my dad.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a whole other rabbit hole. But the most beautiful part was that he lived with me his last year of his life.
Oh,
yeah. So that was
very
awesome.
Special.
Yeah.
Very precious.
Yes.
I mean, I feel the same way with my mom. We lived together and she helped raise me, but she was very young when she had me, 18.
Yeah.
And so it was just a lot of back and forth. We didn't have a great relationship, I think, in my teenage years and so on. But now, fast forward and later on, she's really just blossomed into this amazing, not that she wasn't, but just an amazing human and somebody who really can be there for me in a solid way.
It's awesome.
So it's been nice to kind of rekindle and recommit ourselves to our relationship and just
it's
enjoy
so important.
it. And, I grew up where my family had a business that they were running together, my mom and dad, out of our home. So, it's interesting to see small business owners and entrepreneurs being able to bring their family and have like a safe space that they can create, right?
Yeah.
Create businesses, ideas, new ways of being.
Yeah.
With your family.
Yeah. It's the best.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's move on a little bit, because I know you've had a further development since your original location in Ashburn, and you reopened after COVID.
Yep.
And then I saw you had opened another location in George Mason University in Fairfax.
Yes.
What a wonderful idea and opportunity. Like,
yes.
how
I
did
actually
that come?
contacted them asking them if they were interested in a vending machine.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, wait, you need to come in. So how all of those contracts work is they have basically a catering company.
Okay.
So we were working with a catering company. We were on campus for 2 years with that catering company. Their contract just came to an end, and we're now, thank God, working with the new company. And we've got a couple of letters of intent out. They are not awarded yet, but it does look like God is putting us into universities and possibly airports.
Wow. So exciting.
I know.
Wow. And who would have thought?
Yeah, exactly. I always saw it I actually saw it in more of a person, like we would personally own ones in major cities. Not realizing how expensive this type of business is.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm able to sit back and be like, okay, you guys want to help me with this? Let's do it. I'd rather do it with someone else.
Yeah.
But just for the financial reasons. But yeah, it is very interesting where God is placing us, and I think.
Well, and having to strategize now that you've had one brick and mortar, and you're like looking at all of those, components as to having that on your own, versus subletting or having space that is just in collaboration,
right? Which we really can't.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
No, right.
Because of the allergens, even spatially, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't have that option. We've never been able to have that option.
Yeah.
So part of our next phase is we're in negotiations. Still can't talk about it until we're ratified, but we are looking at a manufacturing facility.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're moving ideally from about 1,500 square feet total to about 9,000.
Wow.
So it's a big jump.
Yeah.
But we have the contracts and the letters of intent to support it.
That's great.
So we're going for it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, it is.
So
I can't wait to be able to announce it. And hopefully by the time this podcast, we may be able to announce it.
Okay. I would love that. I would
know.
love to see that happen for you.
I know, definitely.
So now when we're talking about, like, for instance, and not that you're back there actually doing the cooking, but you know what the facility is going to require in order to keep you, certified. What ways, for instance, if I have friends or family coming over and they have severe allergies, how can I still entertain in my home and have my guests feel safe? Like, are there things I can do to help prevent, cross-contamination, or like, are there anything like in our kitchens that we're missing or that we may not think about when it comes to food allergy, like true food allergies?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say outside of it being like a true airborne food allergy, which there's really nothing you can do except have the enormous air purifiers.
Okay, yeah. I actually have one of those in my bedroom.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I have 3 of them. I've got one on each level that, will carry through that square footage per, whatever that level is.
Yeah.
Outside of something like that and keeping the windows and the doors open, utensils.
Okay.
Like, let's say you're putting something out and it's, from my bakery and it's self-contained or gluten-free or whatever, if you're warming up bread or bagels or something, just try and use a paper towel around it and on a plate instead of putting it directly on where you would put the other stuff.
Okay.
So just kind of keeping it separate, keeping the utensils separate. That's really, I would say, the most practical way to do that, keeping it on a separate plate. Ideally you'd want maybe a separate toaster.
Okay.
for people who need to be gluten-free.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's an easy thing. That's a $20 fix if you're hosting someone with severe food allergy to make them feel like, I did this, like there's no chance of cross-contamination.
Yeah, no, those are all, I mean, look, I guess I don't want to go back too much into it, but the psychology of, thinking that whatever food you're eating is unsafe.
Yeah.
It's really, it's really actually harmful to our bodies to have
100%.
those feelings while we're eating and digesting the food. Because even though it might be okay, our mind is telling our cells like, I don't know, whatever. And I found through even my health coaching and weight loss coaching that the state of mind that you're in when you're eating your food, it actually does like help or hurt your digestion.
100%. It could also cause an allergic reaction when you don't even really have to have one. You know what, if that makes sense, because we're so nervous. Like our immune system is just then depleted, and then all of our systems aren't working together like they should be. So I'm so crazy where I'm like, take deep breaths before I go out, because both my husband and youngest need EpiPens. Yeah. So I don't have that, but I have that for them. I carry that weight for them, and that it just never goes away. Yeah. It's like I'll be in the driveway and be like, oh my gosh, I switched purses. I forgot 2 EpiPens instead of just 1. Yeah. And it is, and I don't want to call it a struggle. We're very well equipped to deal with whatever it is. Right. But I do some crazy stuff every day. To make sure that I'm able to deal with whatever it is that comes my way. Yeah, no, and it's really important. And especially I think just being the mom, right? Everyone is fairly reliant on us and like to, have our bag. I just came in with like 5,000 bags, and I always used to call myself like the bag lady when I was lugging the kids around and going from activities and whatever. And I'd have so many bags, and then I'm like, okay, let me try to simplify. But at the end of the day, it was just, I wanted to be prepared. Exactly. And just like you say, like mentally, it was easier for me just to make sure I overpacked or had too much stuff than to constantly be in a state of worry when I really want to be present with my family. Yep. So no, those are really important things we can think about, and things that I think just on a day-to-day basis that we can do to protect ourselves, protect our families, and then not go bonkers. Literally. In the meantime. Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about like just the home, how we can support our family members and our guests, but also like how can we help ease the burden in our children's minds? Yeah. Because I think that's a big weight to carry as a child, of being like scared. Yep. Of everything. I know. Trust me, I know. I think at a really young age, I taught Ashton the confidence behind this, right? Like, God is not giving you a food allergy. That's not how he works. Like, he's not going to give you something. I didn't create it. You didn't create it, but something did. Right. To have your body specifically think that there's a foreign object in my body when I eat gluten or peanut, right? Or amoxicillin or whatever else. Whatever it is we're allergic to. Yeah. And, I just explained to him, like, what you get the pleasure of experiencing is your health and vitality is going to be here. Yeah. And you're going to know when it's down and depleted because you are giving your body exactly what it needs. You're very lucky that it talks to you the way that it does. Yeah. And that we have testing even like available. Correct. Because until I had that food sensitivity test done, I had no idea. So I felt empowered, even though it was scary. I mean, there was a whole emotional reaction when I looked at like how many things I'm like, what am I going to eat? I know. It took time, and just understanding. I think when a lot of people now are getting these type of testing or finding these even at a later age in life of having to make more, changes with their nutrition and diet, there is an emotional response, and that's normal. And it's more about like, I guess, accepting it, and then also understanding that by reducing or eliminating these foods, we are loving our body. Literally. In return. Yeah, because otherwise it's going to be in self-defense mode, and you don't even realize it because you're not getting one of the signs of an anaphylactic or of an allergic reaction. Right. It's all internal.
That's right.
And people are like, oh, well, you know, I have eczema, I have a skin rash. It's like, well, that's your biggest organ talking to you and telling you what's going on.
Or losing your hair. I've like lost my hair. Same thing, rashes, bloating, discomfort. I mean, there's all the GI kind of normal symptoms.
Those are my terrible symptoms. That's like my number one.
I didn't realize, but when I eat certain foods like egg, and especially if it's not cooked or in like an aioli, I will get extreme pain in my neck and all down my spine. And then when I saw my report and I also saw beef and peanuts were high like that, I would notice if I would eat something with beef or with peanuts, I'd have this same extreme tightness, pain, inflammation all down my spine, you know, which was interesting. And until I had that report and like tested it, there was no way for me to know that that's what I was experiencing. Or headaches.
Yeah.
Or
you had no awareness at all.
Migraines. And then I'm like, oh, well, it's from egg.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, as soon as I stopped eating those foods, I stopped getting headaches. I stopped getting pain. Like, you know, I could perform and dance like more than what, you know, certain sessions, you know, when I knew I wasn't eating any of that stuff or like prepping for comp, I was way more flexible, you know, or like I could recover faster in between the heats.
Yes.
And I didn't even realize it, that it was really just because I was eating this food.
Yeah.
So it is empowering to get the data and to do the testing and be aware of your own body. And then being able to make the choice to love yourself instead of sabotage yourself with the food. And the emotional response on the on-take of it, it sucks, right? Yeah. I went to Costco straight away and got 2 huge bags of like popcorn because that was the only thing on my list that I was like, well, whatever. And I just sat there and I don't even know how much popcorn I ate, but it did make me feel better, you know? But then little by little, I would find other alternatives, you know, that were still satisfying. Yeah. You know?
Yes, definitely. And I think that's what's great about our offerings at the bakery. Like we're able to offer breakfast sandwiches. And if you're vegan and plant-based, I've got the vegan and plant-based eggs, the vegan and plant-based, you know, bacon and cheese. So you get that whole experience, you know? So the only 2 allergens we have in our facility in Ashburn are eggs and milk. And we do very, very little with them. Right. And our equipment's egg-free. And, you know, it really... the ingredients matter so much and the way you handle them matter so much. It's hard to find a place as safe as, you know, an allergen-friendly place. Yeah. Because I don't even source ingredients that are on the same manufacturing lines as other, you know, as other allergens. So I'm a little extreme.
No, but I mean, look.
But I sleep at night.
Yeah, well, and guess what? You're doing a huge service to our community and by like offering this. And I mean, how brilliant to set up the manufacturing and even, for instance, the coolers, the ice chests, freezers during coronavirus. I mean, I'm sure that you got more ideas of how you can manufacture and then ship out, or that it will stay fresher longer. Yes. So even though I'm sure it was a very scary and challenging time, probably gained so much insight and knowledge along the way.
Definitely. Wow. I feel like I still am every day.
Yeah. Well,
never stop learning. Yeah.
I mean, God's designed us, I think, to be very mutable, you know, as humans. Amen. And that we have, you know, inspired action and thoughts and ideas. I mean, that separate us obviously from other like animals. But, you know, it's a blessing. It's a blessing even in the challenging times, right?
For sure.
So, well, this has been just such a lovely time spent and sharing with our viewers. So, Alyssa, for season 2, we came up with this really fun game called Ping Pong. I'm going to ask you a couple questions just so the viewers can learn a little bit more about you. So, thank you for playing along.
Of course.
All right. What is a morning routine must-have?
Oh, jeez. A must-have, I without fail, 5-6 days a week is I do my morning meditation, I go into my sauna, and I do my ice bath.
Oh, I love that. I love the sauna too.
It's the best thing
for the mornings. Yes, I agree. Love that. Okay. If your aura had a color today, what would it be?
Gold.
Okay. Yay. I see that.
Gold.
If you could swap lives with any celebrity for a day, who would it be and why?
You know, I want to sing my butt off. I want to be able to like play an instrument and sing my butt off. So that would be Lady Gaga.
Oh, I love her. Awesome. I can totally see that.
Yeah.
I can totally see it. Okay. What is your love language?
Oh, do the dishes, do laundry, clean my house.
Okay.
For sure. It's acts of service.
Got it.
By far. I don't care about anything else. Like, I am 100% acts of service. Because I can't, I can't function in a mess. I can't function with even clutter. Like, when people come over to my house, and like, we have a lot of people coming to our house a lot of the time. And then when they put stuff away, I just I have to hide it.
Yeah.
Because I can't spatially. So yeah, when my husband does the floors, or like in between our cleaners come, it's like the best thing.
Hint.
Oh, he knows. Oh, he knows.
Okay. Do you use or like face masks or serums?
I don't do anything. I'm terrible.
No, you're fine.
I am.
That's a lot of us
absolutely terrible.
I will say I do love serums.
Okay.
Personally, the face masks are kind of weird and feel weird and all of that, so that's a bit of a stretch for me too.
Yep.
But I always like a good serum.
Yeah. I mean, I'll use one. I have like a vitamin C one that I put on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not. It's not a daily thing for me.
Okay. No, I got you. Well, I'm trying to get into these new Korean face masks. I gotta.
Really?
I just want to order one or two and try it because apparently it dries onto your face, and then you can sleep in it.
Oh.
So maybe I can be the tester outer.
Yeah. Right.
I'll be the tester outer. So, well, thank you for playing along.
Oh, my pleasure. That was fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
Well, I want you to try. I know you've gotten some goodies.
Yes.
But I don't think you've ever physically been in and tried our cinnamon roll.
Oh, I know. Those are my favorites.
So this is an allergen-free cinnamon roll. And
you don't have
that
to twist
probably
my arm.
has about 400 5-star reviews.
Oh.
And people who work upstairs from our bakery, they come down and they get our chocolate chip cookies, our donuts, and our cinnamon rolls just because they love them.
You can heat this up at home, so it really is. It's
hot.
hot.
And it actually, and it also comes self-contained, which is great for people that you're going to be serving that have an egg allergy or have a peanut allergy or tree nut allergy. It'll always come with these tops, so you just take them out of the freezer.
This is absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
So I can't wait to bring it home.
I know.
And share with the kids.
Yes.
They're gonna love it.
I know.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
For these special treats.
I know.
And for being here today. So share with our viewers and our listeners, how can we find you? How can we find you online? You have your 2 locations.
Yeah, we've got our 2 locations, and our website is pretty beefy in a good way. So it'll show you kind of where we wholesale as well. We try to keep that as updated as possible. Our ingredients, everything has a QR code, so you could see all the ingredients in the heating instructions. You could see what locations are where and when we're open.
Great.
Right now, currently, our Ashburn location is the only thing that is open. You can find us on, www.thedifferencebaker.com. Okay. We're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the social media platforms.
Okay.
But yeah, our website really does have a lot of information.
Okay. So you guys heard it first. Go to the website at The Difference Baker and check it out.
Yeah.
This was delicious, and I love our podcast and our sharing with the viewers. So
me too.
Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Alyssa, for being here.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, I love it. So you guys know where to find me. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please like and subscribe, and please share so that more people can enjoy some delicious allergen-free foods. And we have more to come, so more surprises to come.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you all, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care.